What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk Michael back at it again with another Chicago Bears video. In the first ever Chicago Sports Talk, Michael reacts to what Ryan Poles was interviewed by StaceyDales, one of the reporters that met with him today. And y'all know how I'm gonna do this reaction video. I'm gonna pause here and there if I have some thoughts to say about it. So let's get right into business, shall we? All right, so you already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play the video and then pause when I get to certain points of the video. So let's get right into it. It's a 6-minute video.
There is nobody better to talk about the Chicago Bears. No better scout on this team than the general manager, Ryan Poles. Back-to-back first overall picks. What's that like?
It's exciting. I see it as opportunity to continue to improve our football team. We made really big strides due to that trade last year and that opportunity. So we're looking to capitalize on that again.
I have to imagine.
So he says that he wants to capitalize on doing the trade again. What does that tell you, Bears fans? Or are you Caleb Williams cultists? He said he wants to capitalize what he did last year, and that was trading the first overall pick to get a king's ransom. But go ahead and take this out of context.
The volume is intense this week. Trade talks. What is that volume like? Not only for the first pick, Ryan, but you're sitting at 9 too.
Yeah, a lot of conversations I'm sure will happen this week. Really, my approach is just open-minded, right? Just listen to as much information, and then sit down with my team and kind of see what's the best path for the Chicago Bears. So we'll be open-minded and kind of see how the information comes in and adapt and adjust as that information does come in.
Yeah. Your third year as the general manager, you've really built a roster thus far. And the biggest question, though, the number one question is Justin Fields.
Yep.
Where do things stand?
Yeah, so the one thing that's important for us is just continue to communicate and be transparent with Justin, and we'll continue to do that with him and his team. But we have to be open-minded about everything. What you do appreciate about Justin is his leadership, his mindset that he's had over the last 2 years. Things have not been easy, but his stability, his confidence in himself, his leadership has continued to grow as we've gone along, and that makes all of these decisions so complicated because I care about the guy a lot too. So I mentioned it before, no one likes to live in gray, right? You want to know, where am I going? Am I staying here? All of those things. So we'll continue to communicate, but he has done a great job just getting better every single year we've been together.
Yeah, he had a career season, really.
Yep.
So he's saying that Justin Fields has gotten better every year. So my question is, if Justin Fields is getting better, why is it pointless to restart the quarterback clock? So you heard he wants to do something similar to last year. So we're going to continue on this video.
In terms of his numbers, what trade talks have come up around his name?
Yeah, nothing right now. I know some people have kind of touched base with different parts of my team, just kind of.
So far, he said he has no serious talk into trading Justin Fields, but only geeks and dumbasses tell you otherwise.
Testing the water, seeing what's going on, but no serious conversations have happened right now.
Ryan, what was your evaluation, really, your biggest takeaways from him this past season?
Yeah, I think he grew. What I really like about how he grew this year was I feel like the game slowed down for him. Not only was he able to be dynamic with his legs, he was starting to approach the line of scrimmage with his eyes up and finding explosives down the field, which makes it really difficult to handle Justin. Love his connection that he's had with DJ and Cole. The growth there has been outstanding. Obviously, throws a beautiful deep ball. We saw those explosives throughout the year. Yeah.
In terms of this group of quarterbacks coming in, what's your assessment?
Yeah, a dynamic group, all different flavors in this draft. There's guys that have all the talent and tools in the world, and it's up to us as a scouting staff to kind of see, do they have enough, and what's the internal part, what's the drive that they have, the leadership, because that's really, really important when you look at the history of quarterbacks. So it's a good group. So that's, again, it makes a very unique situation.
Something so interesting is really the last quarterback you were a part of drafting
Right.
was the generational talent of Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
13 years in Kansas City. What
Right.
do you recall? You talk about history. What do you recall, Ryan, from the traits that you needed to see or that you saw? Because you guys fell in love with him, like
Yeah.
I believe back in really early in high school at some point.
Yeah, Veach and John were on top of that one early. What I remember most is our process to figure all of that information out, and it took a little bit of time. Obviously, you could see the talent on the tape in terms of the arm talent, his arm strength, feel for the game. But then when you met the person, you felt more and more comfortable with him being a leader. And there were some gaps there too, which he openly talks about, where Alex helped him kind of grow into that. So we'll definitely be leaning on the things that I've learned through that process.
Yeah, people want to compare a little bit of Caleb Williams, for instance, to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like how do you take some of that process and apply it to this process without giving away too much, I guess?
No, I mentioned this before. One of our scouts, Jeff King, did a great job kind of describing, there's artists as quarterbacks and then there's surgeons as quarterbacks. There's two different types. So that process opened my eyes to seeing how different types of quarterbacks play. So when you see the arm angles, you see the creativity in Caleb, like there's a lot of similarities there. So again, those are just pieces of the puzzle. We'll keep putting all of those together to see what it makes and then make a decision for our organization.
I just need to know. Obviously, a contract extension would be huge for Justin Fields, right? But when you consider the first overall pick and understanding your team needs, what can you pass on a quarterback 2 years in a row? And understanding Justin was still in the process and is still in the process of growing.
Yeah. Well, I think the question really is, like, can you pass on like the right quarterback, right? So that person's got to fit exactly what we need to be successful for a long period of time.
Exactly.
And then when you talk about the contract, like that's what makes this so dynamic. It's the short term, but there's also a long term setup as well when it comes to a contract, for a veteran quarterback or for a rookie contract. So again, all of those things are going to be put together, and we'll make the best decision.
Just kind of lastly, what would it take if you were to trade a Justin Fields? I mean, a lot of people love him.
Yeah.
What would it take in terms of capital getting back for a player of his caliber?
Yeah, we're still working through that. It's hard to say right now. I think at the end of the day, it's, if we go down that route and we continue to listen, we'll see what the teams are out there kind of talking about, what makes sense for everyone. But it's hard to really put something on it right now.
Yeah. We appreciate you stopping. That's Ryan Poles,
Thank you.
GM of the Bears. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thank you.
So what I can gather my thoughts in, because I really didn't have much to say because I was just gathering my thoughts. The only thing I could take away from this is Ryan Poles, if he's going to move on from Justin Fields, he wants to make sure it is best for the team being for the future. Now, he did mention that he wants to capitalize on the first overall pick trade from last year. And he also mentioned, not in this press conference, but in the press conference, which I tell you, I'll leave the link to both of these interviews. But if that one interview, try to understand that the audio was pretty shitty. But he did say his phone was buzzing for that first overall pick, not very so on Fields, but he's getting multiple offers to trade down with that first overall pick. Now, we don't know who these teams are. Obviously, he's not going to leak out any information, but Ryan Poles, obviously, he's a good general manager. I do think the best direction for this team is trading down with the first overall pick and continuing to build around Justin Fields. But if we do take a new quarterback, I mean, I'm still I'm not going to really care about the Bears anymore. I'm just going to be skeptical, as I always am, because I've seen it before. But whatever Ryan Poles does, I mean, his job is technically on the line here. And he knows, he's done a lot of good in Chicago. I like the work that he's doing. But what I can gather from this, like I said, this is just my opinion. People have narratives. I think what Ryan Poles wants to do is get a much similar trade to what happened last year, maybe even better. But anyways, that's all. Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching.